It's interesting how time passes, when you start doing all this stuff. You being in rock and roll so long now, and it's like having this big catalog of music. I'm sure a lot of stuff goes in your head, when you wake up in the morning saying like, I've accomplished a lot, and you know, I still have lots to accomplish, I'm sure also.
Well, yeah, I don't think uh I don't know. Yeah, I guess sometimes I do think about that. there's a lot of stuff every once in a while. Like yesterday, I heard some tunes from our album from an album we had out in the early '70s. It must have been the All Over You album. There was some neat shit on there. I enjoyed it. I didn't expect to enjoy it, but I did. And yeah, stuff, I think a lot about the early '70s. It's one of my favorite times because the early '70s, I'm talking really about like '68 to '72 or '73, somewhere in that area, was a really different time for music. And you could people were really listening to the music. They weren't there so much for the hits.
Yeah,
They were there to hear what you were going to do. And so, that was great for a musician because you could improvise. And we created stuff on stage. Um, it was kind of bizarre because the English bands were coming over. There were lots of English bands coming over, Procol Harum and 10 Years After and all kinds of English bands were coming over, and I remember I saw Jeff Beck. We played with Jeff Beck. When was that now? That was like 60, about 68. So it's pre-Chilliwack. It was the Collectors, which was the same band. It's just one person changed. Um, And I remember seeing how the bands at that time, they were coming from England. I guess it was because of finances. They're coming a long ways. They're spending a lot of money to get there, and they had their shit all worked out. It was all like cut and dry. They knew exactly what they were going to do. We weren't that kind of band at all. We were the opposite. We just kind of, have a toke and go on stage and see what happens. And we were good musicians, so a lot could happen.
yeah,
And a lot of times, I mean, it went very, very well. We did really well. I mean, we did better than Jeff that night, and that was because Jeff didn't have a great night, and we did have a great night. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. When you watch baseball, the same thing happens.
yeah.
Um, and so anyway, that was a favorite time of mine. So I like that. But now it's quite different because yeah, like you say, we've got this catalog. We draw from it. We don't just do the hits. We do a lot of hits, but we also do things that were a little unusual and different, and we also have a couple new tunes. So yeah.
That's awesome. One question, I've never got to ask you is like career shows. How many do you figure happened in your life? How many shows you do? With Chilliwack and all everything you did. I mean, are you in the 3,000 numbers?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I wouldn't know how to. I don't have any record of a lot of it. Some I do. The last 20, 30 years, I have pretty much a record of that and I could figure it out. But
Yeah.
and that would be like nowadays what we do is about 20, 25 shows a year. That's what we've been doing for the last 15 years or so. And maybe a little less than that for the 15 ahead of that, which is about the length of this particular band lineup, 30 about well 27 years. So then what would that be? I mean, 27 years times 20, you could probably say. So,
Yeah.
270 times 2, which is 250, 300. Yeah, it's about 350 shows, something like that. Is that right? Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. You guys played more than that, I'm sure. It's like,
Oh yeah, wait, it goes way back, and there were times when we were playing every night. Like most bands when you start out, we were playing, the Collectors played a club. You know, we had a house. We were a house band in a club. We played 3 or 4 sets a night, 5 nights a week. Yeah,
And that's how you start mastering your instrument and mastering the
yeah,
product and the art of it,
yeah,
doing that much performances. So right now we're at Gone, 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 Farewell to Friends tour.
yeah.
This should be a little strange for you, from being on the road all the time.
It should be what?
Should be a little bit strange for you, to
Oh
realize
yeah,
of that
yeah,
time.
yeah. It's true. It's different. And we have developed this band, this particular lineup of the band, to a pretty high point where we really know what we're doing, and we have a lot of fun. We have fun every night. One of the things we do is we don't play too many gigs, and that keeps us fresh, So if you're out on the, we don't go out and do 6 weeks or anything like that. We go out and do one night
Yeah.
or two. We come to Halifax, we play one night, we go home. That's usually what happens. This time we have to happen to have played Moncton and a couple dates in Saskatchewan ahead of it, which is really unusual for us. Usually it's no more than 2 shows per time out. So doing the farewell thing is fun. I'm really enjoying it because we well, it's the last time, and we put a lot of energy into promoting the show so that the rooms are full, and most of the time the rooms are full, and everyone has a great time. We have a great time, and um, yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm 81 years old. It's kind of bizarre to be on stage playing rock and roll when you're 81 years old. There are other people doing that too. I understand that. I know that, but my own personal experience is that I decided that for a number of reasons that we should make this the last year, and one of the reasons was that my mental acuity was just not what it used to be. I just don't have I'm just a lot slower, and sometimes I forget what I'm going to say. I go up to the mic, say something, and I forget what I'm going to say, and
Yeah.
which is typical of an old man. And so it's kind of funny, actually, and I actually enjoy it when that happens because then I have to say something, and everybody knows that I wasn't sure what was going on, and the truth is way more fun than anything else. Um, so I don't hide it, I let people know whatever. Um, and so it's kind of nice in that way that I'm acknowledging that we've been around for a long time, and it's time to step back. It's just time to say, well, that was it. That was Chilliwack, and it was good fun. And yeah, we got a couple new tunes, so who knows? There could be more and more new tunes. I'd like to keep writing tunes, but we got a couple tunes, and for me, the writing for the last 20 years, as I just want to write about what's going on in the world, and I want to help somehow. It's and it may sound stupid, but the world, we all need to do the best we can to make this world work because it's going off the rails if we're not too careful. Apparently we're not too careful, so not careful enough. And so I want to help, and I'm always trying to find. We got 2 songs now that I think are candidates for helping,
Okay.
and they're not telling anybody what to do. And which is the first thing that you do. You go, oh well, we're fucked up, and here's why. And so this is what we got to do.
Okay.
And that's your first instinct, but nobody wants to hear that. Number one, you're probably not completely right. Number two, you're probably partially right. But anyway, so these songs are not like that. They don't preach. They just reflect more on what we're doing, what's happening, and what we could do, you know.
And these songs will be recorded and released.
Oh, I would like that to happen. We did start in recording them, but we didn't finish. I feel like the songs were still developing.
Okay.
Um, I like to take it slow. I like the song to find its way.
Hmm.
I don't want to tell it what to do. It appears in my life, and I go, oh, listen, this is cool. And the most important thing for me to do at that point is don't screw it up. Don't wreck it. Don't try too hard, but
Hmm.
keep listening, keep playing, keep listening. What's it about? What's going on here? It's more questioning than dictating. Um, and I learned that over the years that's the way the best songs happen. They do have a life of their own, and you're lucky to be involved.
Right.
And they need somebody to bring them out. They need someone to express them. They can't do it on their own. So that's your job, is to find what they want to say and say it and try to say it well. And so that means for me, that means it takes time.
Yeah.
This takes time. I can't do it all in one go. It's got to evolve. So that's what's happened, and I hope they get recorded. We're recording them live.
Good.
We recorded them once live already, and we're going to record them. Our final gig is 21st of this month in Mission, BC. We're going to record them there too,
Good.
and hopefully it'll go well. Yeah,
Well, if you got a good live recording, there you go. You got a recording.
you got a recording. That's it.
And that's today in 2025 counts as a good recording. Uh,
That's right.
Bill, let's say to go back, in the past, when did you realize the moment that Chilliwack actually made it? Was it the first platinum album, or was it, playing a certain show and you realizing that the crowd has come for you?
Yeah, there's different kinds of making it, and I have to say that when we were generating new music every night in the 70s, early 70s, late 60s, and the crowds were going nuts, I felt we'd made it.
Right.
And but none of that was recorded. And we tried to record it in the studio and we couldn't do it. And there's a simple reason why we couldn't do it. It's because we were relying on the audience. We had our musicianship and we were skilled musicians. We weren't just learning. We hadn't been just in a garage for a few years. We were people who were hired for playing, doing studio work and stuff like that. So that's what the level of the band was. So we had the musicianship, but we were creating in the moment, and things would happen like things that would signal that we did well was the audience. And then, I don't know if you know Carmine Appice is,
Yeah.
but yeah, Vanilla Fudge was
Yeah.
his band. We played with them.
Wow.
And one night, we played in Pasadena with them at the whatever it's called, I think it's called the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Anyway, um we played there, and we were opening for them. And when we went back to the dressing room, we went through the crowd, we went back to the dressing room. They were just coming out, and he was trying to calm his guys down. He said, "We just do what we do. We just do what we do," because we just drove the audience nuts. They were going crazy.
Wow.
I mean it. It's not just because you have a hit. It's because you just blew their minds. And we did that in Vancouver over and over. We did it with 10 years after. We did it with Procol Harum. We did it with I can't remember who the other. There was three big ones in a row. And finally, the Vancouver newspaper wrote an article saying that there should be humiliation insurance for bands that come and have to follow Chilliwack. I
Wow.
mean, that was in the paper. I mean, what the fuck does that mean? That means you just destroyed the place. And we did it over and over, and we did it with music that just evolved. Every night it was different. So we did that across Canada, and we did really well with it all over the place. We did it in the States. We did really well with it. So that at that point, I thought, well, we've done it. That's what it is. But nobody had the record. No record company would say we'd made it because we hadn't sold any records. All the record company cares about is selling records. They don't care about the music. They care about selling the records. You sell a million discs, they're gonna give you a nice gold record, man. And you're gonna go, oh, you put it on the wall, and you go, oh, I guess I made it. Well, maybe you did, maybe some producer made it for you.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? But anyway, that level is a different level. That's more of the commercial level. And I now finally feel that way.
Hmm.
And I feel that way because we've been selling out shows across the country. We've been selling out shows across the country because we have promotion people who are working really hard and because the band does a great job.
Right.
So that's this other level of kind of success um has happened now. But it didn't happen, I just knew. I knew when the record company gave me a gold record, that was them saying, okay, this is part of our promotion. You got a gold record. It's legitimate, but we're going to plaster it all over the walls. It's going to be in the record company office and it's going to make us feel like we're big.
Hmm.
That's what it means, right? It doesn't mean you are. It means you're getting there.
Yeah. I
Uh,
love the way you represented your story, with, Vanilla Fudge and all that, that level, you know, breaking the headline band. That is a
yeah,
good point. And you have made it at that time. You know,
yeah.
it's very good. When you look at like good feelings like that, have you kept in touch with, Carmine Apiece and people from those groups at all? No, just
No, 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 no. I was too shy to talk to any of them.
okay.
Um, and I have this funny British upbringing. And I remember we played at the Grateful Dead a few times, and one time my amp wasn't working, and Jerry Garcia loaned me his amp. So I played our set, and then they were going to go on after us. There was a break, and Jerry and Phil Lesh, the bass player, were sitting over somewhere, and I went over to Jerry and to them, and I said, I said, thank you very much. Kind of like a Brit, sort of an uptight Brit, like, and I was uptight. I was awed by anyone who was famous. And so I didn't know how to behave. I couldn't relax. Even though I was a skilled musician and I had the right to stand there with people like that and but from that point of view, but anyway, it always felt that way to me. So I never got to know any of them. Joni Mitchell came after we played a set before her, and she said, "Great set, man." And I just didn't even know what to say.
Wow.
So no, I didn't do that.
Have you ever played with a band called Mash McCann from Canada before?
Oh yeah, we played with them. Yeah. Um, Jerry Mercer was their drummer at one point. Great, great drummer. And yeah, I remember their hit, the big song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we played with them. I can't remember exactly where, but it was, yeah, in Canada. I played with them way back when. Yeah. Why do you ask?
I'm just curious because Mash McCann, there's some followers still today, and
Yeah, no.
it's close to April wine and stuff, and there's
Yeah.
nostalgia, and Mash McCann does have a little place in our community where I'm from. Pierre Senecal, the keyboard player, lived down in this region at one time, so it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
local legend, type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And played with April Wine many times, especially, in the last few years, we've done a lot of festivals, and so we'd see our Canadian uh peers, like April Wine, and we all get along good and have a nice time. So I do have that kind of relationship. Kim Mitchell, Kim's a nice guy and he's a great guitar player. I love his playing and I think he's a pretty neat songwriter too.
Yeah.
And so, all kinds of people like that we hang with a little bit when we're on the same bill. We yak and have a nice time.
Bill,
Yeah.
have you played like all over the world? Let's say, go to Australia, Japan, or is it, mostly North America?
Yeah, mostly North America. We did play we played for Canadian forces in a few different places like Germany, um the Middle East. We played in Egypt. We played in the Sinai Peninsula. Uh, yeah, and I personally have done solo shows in lots of different countries, uh, but not with the band. We just I don't know why we didn't do it. I don't know. Just it was, when we started, there was in like we came from Western Canada. When we started in the 60s, there was no music industry infrastructure whatsoever in where we came from. So we'd get a manager we had a manager who basically was from California, and he lived in Vancouver a bit, and that's how he found us, and he took us down there and got us our first recordings, which did really well, all of that. But these people were they were not into building a career in a really aggressive way, and neither was I.
Mhm.
So I wasn't pushing for that. For me, it's just the music. It's the music and the people, and that relationship with people. That's the main thing for me. I don't care if I go and play and make, sort of make waves in other countries and build an image and build a career so that we're like everybody recognize our faces. They know us all around the world. I've never cared about that particularly. I would the reason I played music in the first place because I was a scared little kid. I was a scared little kid, and when I saw Elvis and I saw the way and his music, I loved his music and Jerry Lee Lewis and the Everly Brothers and all those guys and Buddy Holly, and that was all happening when I was in just getting into high school, the early high school, and it was really inspiring to me and I wanted to do it. So I got a guitar. And when I played guitar, even though I didn't know what I was doing, it felt good, you
Mhm.
know, and it made my nervous self calm down. It's kind of thing. I wrote a song once and the first line was when you're strumming on an ukulele, let the ukulele strum you.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? People I say, what the hell is that? Some kind of Zen mantra or something? And no, no, listen. When you strum on an ukulele, it's humming on your belly. And if you were like I was when I was a kid, that was a very nice and soothing thing. So I started to feel better. I didn't feel afraid. I didn't feel nervous. I felt warm and fulfilled when I was playing. That's why I did it.
Mhm.
And I just continued to do it. And now I just love to see the people out there feeling great. And when we feel great and they feel great, that's what that's always been about. That's what it's about. That's what I care about. On the night that doesn't happen, I'm not happy.
I
All
hear.
the other nights when it does happen, I'm happy. I can go on do another one, feel good.
Yeah. It's like that to finish off. The greatness of your songs, the titles of it, um, everybody just loves the stuff, let's say on local radio to national radio, it's still being played every day,
Mhm.
all over North America. Um, that should be great feeling. And tomorrow, certainly, we're going to see that at the Halifax Casino with the great Chilliwack playing. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much, Bill, for taking the time. Really appreciate this. So this is our second interview, 10 years apart. And
Yeah, Jason. Yeah. All
yeah,
right. Yeah. Nice,
so, Bill.
nice. It's nice to talk to you. I appreciate it.
All right, Bill, you have
See-
a great evening and see you tomorrow night.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Bye bye.
Good night. Bye.